the world's largest import expo, a catalyst propelling recovery amid pandemic uncertainties, a global stage showcasing the world's newest products, cutting-edge technologies and latest services, and a mega platform turbocharging access to China's massive consumer market. Join CGTN at the 4th China International Import Expo in Shanghai, where we show you the hottest consumer trends and pinpoint opportunities for growth.
Hello everyone, welcome to this very special edition of Biz Talk on CIIE, China International Import Expo. It's called Roundtable CEO because we are having a roundtable here at the beautiful Bund of Shanghai, where CGTN is having a temporary studio covering all the stories and highlights at the CIIE. I'm your host, Junfeng. Today I'm honored to be joined by two very special and kind guests. Also, they have a very huge booth at the CIIE. We're joined by Anna Pawlak-Kuliga. She is CEO of IKEA China. She's been on our show for quite a few times.
Yes, thank you, Charles, for having me.
Yeah, and we also have Mr. Yann Bozec. He's Tapestry Asia Pacific President. He's also President and CEO of Coach China. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Both of you have been to CIIE for quite a few times, right?
Yes.
Starting with the lady, Anna, how many times have you been to CIIE?
Actually, it's our 4th time. We started 4 years ago, and every year was a very successful year. This year, of course, for us it's very special because we introduced a lot of news to China market as well. And our theme is actually sustainability and co-create with China. It's a great platform to network, to co-create together, to inspire each other, actually contribute to the better life of the many.
Yeah. Talking about network, you just got to know Yann, right?
Yes, exactly.
You just met with each other.
Yeah.
Yann, how many times have you been to CIIE?
I think it's the 3rd time this time, and we really love the platform, and it's a unique opportunity to meet a lot of friends, people like you, reporters, also some people from the government, also some landlord, and most importantly, a lot of customers which are visiting the booth and giving us feedback about the innovation that we are displaying there.
For people who do not know much about Tapestry, because it's a group, tell us about your group and the brand underneath it.
So Tapestry is a house of 3 brands, 3 very distinct and iconic brands. Coach, which is a house of leather and an iconic brand coming from New York. Kate Spade, which is also an iconic brand coming from New York, which is a lifestyle full of joy and color. And Stuart Weitzman, which is a brand very well known here in China for the quality of its craftsmanship and its footwear.
Great. I see advertisement quite in some places with Chinese celebrities wearing them. Today, this year, I visited your booth actually. It's very light, colorful, wonderful display. What are the highlights of your show today?
I think every brand is coming with their own personality. So for the Coach brand, we really wanted to make a tribute to a bit of outdoor, a new lifestyle that a lot of more and more Chinese customers and our friends are enjoying. So we are displaying and unveiling a ski collection, which is very, very fun, with a lot of fun animals around. I mean, a testament to really outdoor and a new lifestyle. For Kate Spade brand, we really wanted to bring a lot of new product and the inspiration of joy, colors, and with a Manual Award as a testament also for the city that is hosting us, Shanghai. And Stuart Weitzman is bringing a lot of also new innovative product with everything that is very intrinsic to Stuart Weitzman, a lot of strengths, a lot of Chinese stuff, which are very interesting and beautiful.
Right. We see IKEA has a lot of suppliers in China. Also, you have lots of shops in China. But when you come to CIIE, I mean, much of your products are actually made in China. So what does this platform offer you?
I think this platform offers us many fantastic opportunities. First of all, what we want to do, we want to actually share our purpose, that we are a brand for the many people in China and across the world. For us this year, like I said, is very unique. Sustainability is the main red thread. Our booth is called The Better Life We Live at some point. And I think why we did it, I think the reason is very simple. It's the most important decade in the humankind history at some point. We want to show as well many customers, many stakeholders that sustainability cannot be luxury for the few. It has to be affordable for the many. We introduced a lot of innovative products that are actually symbolicing the sustainability approach from the full value chain, how we made products, how we distribute products to the customers. Because we think about actually sustainability from the moment we design product, what it's made of, how it's distributed, how it's produced. We think about also our carbon footprint as well. So this is the one part of the sustainability angle. And the second part this year, especially unique for us, is that we want to also show that we are having and we are marching very proudly our localized strategy for China. We co-create a lot of products with Chinese consumers with our local development center in China. We can see during this venue this year our first launch ever. It's a world premiere, a little bit, our Chinese New Year range for IKEA. And many more.
Chinese New Year product.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
Yes. And of course, third component is this IKEA business, because of course we work with many commercial customers as well, and also we want to bring sustainability, healthy work environment to the many potential customers in this sector. So very rich content, very broad spectrum, but a very fruitful day so far.
Right. Talking about sustainability, Tapestry may have something to add, because traditionally luxury products are associated with animal fur, animal leather, they may have environmental consequences. Do you have some plans to tackle the sustainability issue?
Yes, thank you, Charles. Yeah, in fact, we had plans for quite a lot of time, and we are very mindful about the social fabric. We are all living in the same world at the end, and we take our responsibility very, very seriously. So we had a plan that we started, in fact, in 2014 about reduction of our carbon footprint, about reduction and being very careful about how do we source each of our material. And we are very pleased. Sourcing of the material. We are very pleased with the progress that we have achieved. In fact, we reduced, despite the growth of the business, we reduced our carbon footprint by more than 20% since 2015. And we are paying a lot of attention also about sourcing. We are also working on some very interesting new opportunities. The Coach brand, for example, is very well known for the durability of its product. So we started already nearly 10 years ago a program about taking care of your product, repairing and caring. And everybody who is the owner of a Coach bag can come to any store, and we will take care of them and repair it. Here in China, we repair more than 69,000 handbags over the past few years.
How many years is it supposed to last for a Coach bag?
I want to say, it's so beautiful, because we had an exposition a few years ago when I bought for my wife a bag which was made on the date of her birthday, and I will not disclose the age of my wife, of course, but she's nearly the same age as me, so that gives you an idea about how long a Coach bag can last.
More than 10, 20 years?
It can be 40, even a bit more.
Okay, so it can last.
Yeah.
How many years can IKEA furniture last? Do you expect people to, totally change their furniture for some new theme like Chinese New Year? Or do they expect to be more durable, last for a generation?
Of course, when we design products, for us, we have a very simple principle for every product we design, from the glass, plate, sofa, wardrobe, kitchen, furniture. It has to fulfill 5 criteria. It has to have a high quality, has to be affordable and low priced, it has to be sustainable, it has to have function, and it has to have a nice form as well. And our kitchens, our mattresses, 25 years warranty, our Pax wardrobe the same, so we believe in our products, so we also put a lot of efforts to make sure that those products are durable. And at the same time also to prolong a little bit what Yann mentioned as well, the life of the furniture. We introduced to China market last year circular hubs, because simply we want customers also to have possibility to give the furniture second life, not throw them away. It's waste as well. And for us, every part of waste can be resource as well. So we have to very much carefully also think the whole supply chain model, how we can put it back again as well. So it's a very important topic for us.
Great. Yann, let's continue a little bit, because last year or earlier this year, there was a trend calling for fashion brands to disclose their information as much as possible.
Yes.
Because of the environmental concern. Are you pressured? Are you concerned about this trend? Does it bother you, or you welcome this call?
Thank you, Charles. Again, we're all living in the same planet. Honestly speaking, we're not concerned about that. We embrace that. We're living in a world which I would love my children and my grandchildren to be able to live as comfortable as we do today. So I think it's the responsibility of every company to make the most progress possible to really make it happen. You know, I mean, I was speaking about the durability of the product. We just launched, in fact, in the United States, and we will launch in China very soon, another program for handbag, which is, I mean, if you don't maintain it so well and it becomes damaged, you bring it back to us, and we will maybe pay you back some money, and we will try to reuse the material to do something else, to do another product from it. You know, that's something that we just start to do. And there will be a lot and more initiatives, because again, I mean, there is an urgency around us here. We are all very aware of that.
It's very much like those home appliance companies. They recollect old refrigerator and give you 700 yuan back, and when you
I didn't know so well about home appliance. You should ask Anna about that. She may know better than me.
Would you consider such initiative? I mean, someone have old furnitures?
I think we introduced this service already to China market as well.
You already?
Yes, we have circular hubs in Shanghai market and some others as well. So 30% of our stores in China has the circular hub.
Wow.
When we invite, especially in the store of tomorrow in Xuhui, you can come and you can repaint your table, you can repair it, reuse it, resell it, etc. So I think this is the future of every single brand. If you really care about environment, what Yann said and what you mentioned, I think you have to have embedded circularity in your business model. There's no other future.
Okay, I have to say I've been quite a loyal IKEA user. I've been buying your furniture quite some time ago. But now I'm more into like real wood products. You do have real wood products.
Yes,
I mean,
we do.
real wood feel good. I mean, they look good. They set the ambience at home. But they have environmental consequences. People have to cut down trees. So as more and more Chinese people or global customers of IKEA move up the consumption ladder and demand more, high-end premium products, real wood, how do you deal with such, consumption trend? They may have environmental consequences.
I think when we have decided about our sustainability strategy a long time ago, what I can share today, when it comes to the wood itself, 98% of our furnitures, wood from furnitures, is sourced from FSC certified or recycled materials. 98%.
It's also about sourcing, right?
Yes, 100% of the wood that we have in our range is sourced from more responsible managed forest. We simply make sure that we don't contribute to deforestation.
So the forest manage it in a scientific way, sustainable way, and you're only sourcing from these forests.
Absolutely. And of course, the third component is we are a curious company. We want to be innovative all the time. We ask ourselves how we can be better. Today in our booth CIIE, you can see, for example, Hermes furniture and how Hermes is produced. It's simply furniture from wood, a fantastic range. But what we also injected is actually the waste of pine tree that normally it could go to waste. So also we embraced all the parts of our supply chain to make sure that we embed those kind of products in those kind of thinking as well. So you have to be innovative. You have to think circular, and you have to simply walk the talk.
Yeah. Which country is IKEA from originally?
IKEA is Swedish, Swedish company as well.
North Europe and France is also, your company.
It's from New York.
New York, right. I mean,
American.
Both countries are quite famous for environmental protection ideas and issues, very aware of that. Do you feel that Chinese consumers are also becoming more and more aware of the products they buy? Do they welcome your products with environmental protection concept behind it?
I mean, I'm sure. I mean, we all live in the same world, and we all live in China here. And speaking to my friends and speaking also to our customer in the store, definitely it's becoming more and more a topic which is top of mind for everybody.
I mean, I saw on the tab and the information, little tips on IKEA furnitures in your shops that this wood is sourcing from somewhere, is made of environmental friendly materials. So this is quite useful in your sales, right?
I think, Charles, when we talk to the customers from Harbin to Shenzhen, from Jinan to Shanghai, etc., we know that customers are really concerned about the environment. Yes, after simple things like paying bills, they're really concerned about the bigger things in life. Planet is one of them. Today, 30% of our sales comes from the sustainable range. So the range that is either very responsibly developed or it contributes to sustainable life at home, saving water, saving energy. And answering your question, the answer from my side is yes. IKEA customers are much more careful about the choices. They are much more concerned about the health. And they simply they want to have simply better life. So everything what they buy, they want to actually have a contribution to the better life quality in China.
Right. We already spent 10 minutes on this topic out of 30 minutes, so it really says a lot about the importance of this issue in our in our society now. The next topic is also very important, the pandemic. It's been going on for 2 years. We could be still talking here, I mean, in the studio,
Yes.
and we still could hosting a physical exhibition in Shanghai at a such scale, says a lot about China's, ability to control the pandemic. And you've been living in China in the past 2 years. You can compare your lifestyle to many of your international colleagues, right? I mean, tell us about your experience and how your business has been faring in the past 2 years. Yann.
So first, from a pure business perspective, I think here in China, in fact, the business has been quite good, I should say. I mean, we were growing 60% for the past fiscal year. We are growing by 60% versus last year and 40% versus pre-COVID business. So
You
the
mean
business,
growth? You mean
yeah,
growth?
the growth of business has been quite good. I mean, then obviously, I mean, COVID has changed a lot of things, the way people engage with the brand, the way people connect with the product and the way connect with each other, and we were adapting to that. So definitely our strategy moved a lot more toward digital connection, as well as balancing with the real connection. Again, we are very, very lucky to be here in Shanghai today, when we can have a relatively safe, a very safe environment. And even 2 years ago, the CIIE was there. Last year, the CIIE was there in the middle of the big pandemic. So I would like to take this opportunity also to thank the government and all the municipality of Shanghai, but also the Chinese government, to be able to control the pandemic in such a safe way.
So you would be a supporter of the zero tolerance policy, huh?
I think, I mean,
Because many other places in the world, they don't have this zero tolerance. They allow people to go around even without.
I mean, I'm just living here, and I'm enjoying the fact that we can meet face to face in a very safe environment.
Great. What about you?
I think when pandemic actually started 1.5 years ago now, yes.
In March.
Yes, exactly. It's of course it was disruptor to all of us suddenly out of nowhere, and I think as a first country facing these challenges, I think my team and co-workers did tremendous efforts. Government the same at some point. Of course, we were marching our transformational strategy. But what we also find out after a very short period of time, that our strategy is relevant more than ever. So we actually accelerated our digitalization. We accelerated
because people couldn't visit shops
yes.
for a while.
Yes, exactly.
They can still buy online.
Yes. So we accelerated our digitalization strategy. We accelerated different store formats. We accelerated local range development. So we try to do utmost to actually speed up transformation in China market. Now we are actually very successful, having a lot of store formats in China.
How's your business? I mean,
we
Yann
closed,
just said 40% 2 years ago.
No, we closed here in August with double-digit growth, and we are double-digit growth. And
for
we're
furniture, it's quite amazing. Huh?
Yes, and of course we have quite strong food business. But like I said, we have different store formats, different sales channels. I think transformation accelerating, because COVID is the big accelerator of the transformation of the digitalization. Simply.
Okay, if sales is good and people coming back to your shops and buying online, what about supply chain? I mean, how do you deal with problem?
Of course, we know there's a global issue across many sectors of the economy in the world.
Shipping.
Yes, there's a problem, absolutely, and of course. We try to do utmost together, coming together as management teams from many countries on the group level, on the countries level, together with our suppliers, our colleagues from supply chain, trying to actually maneuver. And we look into many possibilities to really optimize top sellers, to optimize seasonality.
I'm curious, how many is the percentage in China that the products sold in China actually made in China?
Actually, our colleagues from purchasing and logistics East Asia are contributing to close to 30% of the global volume, which is big amount, 30% of global volume.
I mean, how much percentage of the products you sell in China are actually made in China?
Equivalent the same.
Okay.
Yes, but it's enlarging because, like we said, a year ago we have established our local development center, and this will be enlarging. And having a disruption of the supply chain today, we're actually looking how to actually optimize much more this kind of local sourcing and local production and design, and the China market.
Okay, Yann, you're absolutely. I guess you're shipping lots of your products from elsewhere to China, right? And from China to the world. So how does this shipping problems and
I think we have
influence your supply chain?
We're kind of blessed to have a very diversified source of product. You know, products are coming from Southeast Asia, from Europe, from China a little bit as well. And I think many years ago, one of the key direction and strategy for supply chain was agility. And I would say that we are benefiting from that now because COVID is moving from one place to the other, but having a very diversified source of product is helping a lot.
Okay, that's the second segment of our discussion on the pandemic and impact on the supply chain and sales. Now let's move on to what you just mentioned, digitalization. Okay, Anna said digitalization has helped her business recover. What about yours?
Digital, especially here, as we say in China, which is really at the forefront of what digital innovation is for the rest of the world. Digital is part of our life.
Are you saying that China is one step ahead of many markets in digitalization?
I would say
5 steps.
One step is not enough. I would say several years ahead of everybody
The
else.
other night I attended an international forum, Hongqiao International Forum, on the sidelines of the CIIE, and many heads of state shared their view of China. It strikes me how much they know about China. They say, China is one step ahead of the world in digitalization, in terms of fintech, in terms of how much content people put online, stuff like that, and general public's tech savvy.
Yeah, one of your colleagues one day asked me, what is your digital strategy? And I remember my answer at that time is like, you can ask me what is my water strategy, I drink water, I'm alive. I don't drink water, I'm dying.
Oh, that's so essential.
But that's essential in our everyday life. We're all living with that here. And the Chinese customer, and we here in China, in fact, are spending on average 7 to 8 hours on the mobile device. I think the way the society is embracing the digital world here, again, it's not one step, it's maybe 4 or 5 years ahead of the rest of the world. And if you want to be close to your customer, you have to be where your customers are, and you want to live the life of your customer and connect them where they are. So that's why digital is not even a choice. It's a
what are the things? Tell us, what are the things that you're already doing online?
You're
selling online, right? You have shops.
We have shops in a lot of places, but when we speak about digital, I don't look at that as only e-commerce. One of our founder, in fact, for the Coach brand, one of Lou Frankfurt, who created basically Coach as it is today. When I joined the company 13 years ago, told me something which still resonates a lot for me, which is a brand is built in the heart and the mind of a customer with one person in the store which is working for the brand, a sales associate or a representative of the brand, speaking to one customer around one product. And that was so inspiring for me because that's a real human connection. And I think 13 years later, in the world of today, things have not changed so dramatically. There is still one person speaking to a customer around one product. The only thing that changed is that this interaction doesn't need to happen in the four walls of a store. So 4 years ago, in fact, we started to notice that our teams in the store, living in the world they are living, were embracing digitalization. They wanted to be the ambassador of the brand online, and they were posting on their WeChat, on their little red book, on all of the social media. And maybe unlike some other brand, we didn't come and tell them, you have to stop that. We provide them training. We say, what do we need? What do we need to do to help you doing more than that? And now we are very pleased to have, in fact, hundreds of teams in our stores which are really embracing digital and becoming brand ambassador and our in-house KOL, in fact.
So
and connecting with the customer.
Are you allowing these people, KOL, KOC, and online stream hosts to sell your products directly?
That's a lot of things to speak about KOL and KOC. That's a lot because, again, some of our teams are in fact KOL. And of course, they are selling to their customer. They are selling in the store, but they can sell also through WeClienteling, a WeChat platform which allows them to connect with the customer. We're also working on embracing live stream, which is something that did not really exist before the pandemic, but which is now part of everyday life. And yes, we are engaging.
We're live streaming now.
We are live streaming now.
Yeah. And the same for IKEA, I think, because like you mentioned, Yann, I think it's important to say that digitalization is not for sake of it. It has a higher purpose. We have decided that IKEA is a meeting place. It doesn't matter if it's online or offline. Our coworkers are embracing digitalization, omnichannel, live streaming as well.
You live streaming?
Yes.
And are Chinese people buying?
Yes, absolutely.
They are buying?
Absolutely. And I think
even without see.
Yes, without touch and see.
feel.
We have an amazing team doing miracles, I have to say, young, talented people. But at the same time, I think it's important to say that, at least from our side, when it comes to IKEA retail organization, we will be people-centric, integrated retail as well. At some point.
But your business model, look at IKEA shops, they are huge.
Absolutely,
it's
it's
like
still
a
meeting
one-stop
place.
shop.
Yes, it's still our core business,
You
but
can
at the same
eat
time,
there, drink
it's,
there, you can even sleep there, spending the whole day.
It's a meeting place. It's a meeting place for the many.
You designed the whole thing
Yes.
for a family trip. For a whole day.
Absolutely.
But you're also doing online business.
Yes. We follow the trends of the market. We are a curious company. We innovate, we develop, we listen to the customers. It's important to be on the toes and walk the talk as well when the customers are. It's very important.
Are you going to adapt the Chinese way in other places in the world?
Hopefully, because we have decided that China is one of the most strategic markets, and together with my team we innovate, we test many things. One of the tests that we have first in the world is Store of the Future, a home experience of tomorrow in Xuhui. It's the first store with different different business model, and hopefully we can learn from the Chinese customers together with them and scale up those things for the rest of the world.
Right. When you talk to Yann, when you talk to your colleagues on other parts of the world, do you also tell them what you experience in China? Are you going to promote your practice in China globally?
Of course, we're having constant conversation, but I should say that a lot of my colleagues all around the world are very curious and eager, in fact, to say, hey, what is happening now in China? What are you doing? When I was speaking about the third associate or teams in the store becoming KOL, an ambassador of the brand, that's something that the whole Asia, Europe, and United States embrace now. And we even share the training material that we have developed here. When our teams in the store are doing hundreds of live streaming every month, basically, because we were training them, and because they want to do that, because they found it's a relevant way.
It's fun.
It's fun. They even wanted me to do live stream, and I did a few of them. It was not so good, I can tell you.
You look good. You look good on it.
Yeah, but don't try my Chinese at all. That was a disaster. But nevertheless, it's fun. And people in the United States, people in Europe, people in the rest of Asia embrace that. And we are having constant conversation. We even have a global kind of in-house KOL community which exchange tips to each other and share best practice, and most importantly, the fun that they are having.
Right. If you have still some time left, let's talk a little bit about the consumption behavior that you observe here. We always talk about young generation, Generation Z, how strange they are, how much they spend. They spend on something they don't really need with money they don't really have to impress people they don't really care. There are all sorts of generalizations and judgments on them. Briefly, your understanding of the Chinese young generation, post-19, the Generation Z, people in teenagers.
I think overall, customer segment in China is very fragmented. Very unique.
Fragmented.
Very fragmented, but very unique as well at the same time. And I think we have decided that we want to be very inclusive brands. So we have offering for every single segment of the customer, age preferences as well. We also did a very, very profound study of the life at home perspective, talking to the many customers from different groups, different segments.
Yeah. You don't judge on their age.
We don't judge for age. We actually, everybody has their own needs, their own preferences. And the brand role is to meet those needs, not to judge, but meet those needs, listen to them, and co-create with them.
Do you have typical ideas or typical image of your customers for Coach or for Tapestry?
I think, Tapestry is a house of three very distinct brands with a lot of appeal, and each of them having a very, very strong DNA and personality, and they're all different. And if you look at Stuart Weitzman, as I shared before, Stuart Weitzman is really speaking for ladies who have a lot of inner strengths. I want these strengths to shine. And that's who we are attracting, and that's how we develop our product and how our store look like. If you look at Kate Spade is a lot about joy, playfulness. The Kate Spade customer is somebody who would love to wake up in the morning, having a nice cup of tea in their favorite mug, looking at the sky and feeling very joyful. That's the Kate Spade lady. Then you look at the Coach. Coach customer is somebody who feel good in his skin, want to display his own style, very urban to some extent. But then when you look at the customer first, there is no such a thing as the customer. When you speak about the Gen Z customer, we conducted a lot of analysis and segmentation, and we realized that in fact the reason why a customer is engaging with one brand or another is the demographic, the age, the revenue, the where you're living, the education are not the reason why people are choosing one brand or the other. What we realize, for handbags at least, is that a customer is choosing one brand or the other based on how much their level of fashionability is and how do they want to engage with the people around them when they're working or when they're not working. And we realize very interestingly, at least for the Coach brand, for example, that there is really two types of customer. There is the one which is looking for something new all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I want the new stuff. I want the new stuff.
Curious ones.
And you have somebody who is looking for the timeless stuff.
Yeah, the classic ones.
I'm more on the timeless style,
Okay.
which I will buy a product which is the original, the thing that was here at the creation, which can last forever. And you have some customer who will look for, no, I want the new one. And you know what? You have people who are 20 years old like that, and you have people who are 50 years old or more like that.
You don't judge on ages. No. Great.
Hey, we discussed about that, Charles, before the show, I mean, remember when we were young, maybe people which were our age at that time were speaking about us, saying how those young people
should all
were,
remember when we were young.
But it's a very important point that you mentioned. I think it's, of course, offering is one. Yes, so how the consumers see the offering, the products itself. But also, it's very important to distinguish the way how you want to meet the customer, because of course, a customer has very different ways and preference of meeting the brand as well. Different touch points, different channels, etc. So the coherent approach to the consumer has to be on totality. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We'd love to share more, and
we'll share more afterwards, probably as well.
We will continue later.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll try to catch up later. Thank you for
so much.
being here today. Yann from Tapestry and Anna from IKEA. And I'm Junfeng. Thank you for watching this very special edition of CEO Roundtable at BizTalk. CGTN's coverage of CIIE will continue. Goodbye.